Welcome into the DRF Sportsbook betting breakdown. Today we are breaking down championship weekend opening lines. We have the AFC and NFC championship games set. The 49ers head to Philly to take on the Eagles. And over on the AFC side, we have a showdown between Joe Burrow's Bengals and Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs. A fantastic weekend. And these opening lines, they open and man, did they change quick, especially in the AFC Championship game. We're going to break down where the value is in both of these opening lines and just how each team got there. First up, we are going into 49ers going to Philly to take on the Eagles. Philly opened as a 3-point favorite and then almost immediately fell down to a 2.5-point favorite, with the money early on coming in on Philly, the public early in coming on Philly, but the money coming on the 49ers to bring that down by 0.5 point. And that 3 number is really important here because if you win by a field goal, that's a push. But at 2.5, that's a win. So those numbers, your 3s, your 7s, your 10s, numbers that are typical in an NFL game, those are the numbers, those benchmarks that bettors really like to look at. And at Eagles -3, it got bet down to Eagles -2.5. which could mean a lot of interesting kind of movement here as we go on. Line also opened at 45.5 for this game in terms of the total. It's now sitting at 46, so that went up 0.5 point. And it's going to be a fantastic game. These are two teams that are primed to take on each other. No real injuries for either side. The Eagles brought back Lane Johnson last game, and the 49ers, they have a plethora of starters that are firing on all cylinders. Brock Purdy is playing out of his mind. Didn't have necessarily his best game, but he still threw for over 250 yards. Didn't make a game-changing mistake, and in that game against the Cowboys, that's all you really needed out of Mr. Irrelevant, now Mr. Relevant. So the Eagles come into this one as a 3-point home favorite. It's moved to -2.5 as the money is telling us that the sharp bettors are on the 49ers there. But the public, they love Philly at home. I'm all over the 49ers here at +2.5. You see there on the left rail, our power line thinks this game's more like a pick'em. The 49ers in our game simulator number 1 lose by 1. In game simulator number 2, it's a 24-24 tie. And we all know in playoffs, a tie can't happen. But that's telling you that this is going to be a close, gutted out game. And at 49ers plus, I would have loved to jump on this at 49ers +3, but even at +2.5, I feel really comfortable in San Francisco because I think they're really live to win at +120 on the money line. I think 49ers are the best team in the NFL right now and should be the favorites to win the Super Bowl. And this matchup against the Eagles is so favorable to San Francisco. We'll break it down further later on in this week, but the 49ers, what they do best is inside zone power running right at you. They go right at the defensive line. And the Eagles defense has been fantastic this season. There really is no weakness on this Philadelphia defense, really this Philadelphia front seven, except for one thing, and they've struggled when you pound it at them, when you run directly into teeth of their defense. But Jordan Davis, their stud defensive tackle rookie out of Georgia, is slated to be coming back. And that will be huge for Philadelphia as they are going to be missing Avonte Maddox. He's questionable. Sean Bradley out. Janarius Robinson will be out. But you just kind of scroll through both of these teams' injury reports. And they're getting healthy at the right time, which will be massive for these teams. Eagles open at -3, move to -2.5 nearly instantly. And that is where we're sitting at right now. Over on the AFC side, this game is so interesting. Opened at Kansas City -1 because there are so many questions surrounding the health of Patrick Mahomes' ankle. Will it be healthy enough for him to play? Most likely, I would give it a 90% chance that Patrick Mahomes is the starting quarterback for the Chiefs on this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. But I don't know if he'll be 100%. I don't even know if he'll be 75%. The total opened at 47.5. That moved down almost immediately to 47. And not only did that Chiefs -1 move down almost immediately, the public and the money all over Cincinnati, and this line is now a straight pick 'em. According to our power line, if this was a healthy Chiefs team, if this was a healthy Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs are 3-point favorites at home, and they beat the Bengals by 6 in both of our game simulators. But we know it's just not true, and that's why this line moved down, and that's why the public is all over Cincinnati here in this one. Bengals quickly are pick'ems in this game, and the Bengals have had their way with the Chiefs as of late. They've won their last 3 games against Kansas City and Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow have had the Chiefs' defensive number, and the Bengals' defense has had Patrick Mahomes' number. This is going to be the best game of the weekend. Will be really interesting to see what this line ends up closing at after it opened Chiefs -1. I've even seen at some books that this line is now Bengals -1. It's flipped from Chiefs -1 all the way to the Bengals being favored. Both of these teams -110 on the money line. If I got to make a bet right now, though, I think I'm leaning Chiefs at the pick'em. Chiefs -110 on the money line. I don't know if the Bengals, after they've been playing all these away games, will have it in them to win again. They played wild card game at home, and then Buffalo on the road in the cold, then going to Arrowhead, 2 of the tougher places to play. Will be really interesting to see how that plays out. And Cincinnati 1-2 against the spread over their last 3 after they had that amazing run of covering against the spread. Chiefs, on the other hand, they're 2-2 over their last 4 against the spread, but opened up at Chiefs -1, quickly went down to a pick'em, and it's Bengals -1 in some books. So going to be a really interesting game. I'm so excited to see where this one ends up, but as of right now, I am leaning the home pick'em. I'm going Chiefs right now, subject to change. Later on this week, we'll have a full breakdown of the championship weekend, going fully in depth into trends, angles, line movements, what we're feeling, advanced stats, everything like that later on this week for the NFC and AFC championship games. And as a reminder, folks, follow us on DRF Sportsbook on all social media so you never miss out on any of the information, the fun stats, memes, graphics, everything that we have going on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, right here on YouTube. Do not miss a single second of it. We'll be back later this week breaking down some of our power rankings of the remaining 4 teams in the playoffs. And we'll be back later this week breaking down both the NFC and AFC championship game. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you stay up to date with all of the happenings here on DRF Sportsbook.